Hi, you guys. Welcome back. And of course, if you're new to this channel, welcome. My name is Tracy, and this is your Pick a Pile Tarot reading for November 2020. So what that means is you just take a moment now to pick a pile. This is pile number 1. This is pile number 2. And this is pile number 3. Once you have picked a pile, you can go into the detail box of this video or down into the comment section to click on the timestamp for your chosen pile of cards. Or, of course, since these are general tarot readings, you can listen to all 3 of the readings and just take whatever parts of these readings that will resonate with you. And now, without further ado, let's move on to pile number 1. Hello to all of you who picked pile number 1. So let's get going on this reading. The central theme here is triumph. And we have discontent and boredom, and the balance card to the left of triumph. And over here to the right, we have material harvest, along with rejoice and celebration. Wow, this is a good reading, you guys. So if you picked pile number 1, obviously the triumph card being the central theme means that you may have had to work really hard to get to the point where you are right now. But it's like you're finally feeling like you have kind of broken through, and now you're feeling like you're basically on the path to victory. You are feeling good about where you stand. All right, so leading up to this though, discontent and boredom, something in your life that was just, you weren't really feeling very inspired, I guess you could say, at a certain time. But as soon as you found the balance that was necessary, you started to realize that you are the creator of your experience. And so therefore, you are able to, reach this point of triumph. All right. So now over here, we have material harvest along with rejoice and celebration. So those cards, in my opinion, are basically just saying your hard work is paying off. Just take time to congratulate yourself and to really understand the little victories in your life at this time. All right, you guys, let's get the Rider-Waite cards that I've already drawn for you guys. So down here, we're going to start with the 6 of Cups. And we have the 8 of Wands reversed. Over here, we have the Devil. And we have, this is the 4 of Cups reversed. All right, you guys. So the Devil card here is a major arcana card. So I'll start there. So with the Devil card, this is always referring to something that has to do with your ego or your lower nature. So this triumph is actually referring to some type of triumph over your ego in some way. So maybe you've overcome some type of addiction, or maybe you've realized something about your personality that you wanted to change and you feel like you've successfully kind of gotten there. Whatever the case may be, that's what the Devil card is representing here. It's kind of helping to explain what this reading is really referring to. All right, and let's go over here to the 6 of Cups. So this has been kind of emotional for you, and it's taken a lot of reflection and looking back on your life. So this triumph has come definitely through the emotions as well. Then we have the 8 of Wands reversed. And it's almost like there could have been like a sense of urgency here at some point. You felt inspired for this change and this, not really change, I guess, this challenge. You were ready to overcome the challenge, and it might have taken a little longer than you thought it would. But then we go over here to the Four of Cups, and that could just be because in some cases you weren't really paying attention to what your emotions were offering to you. So it's important to remember that your emotions are basically like, your emotions can be your guide, your internal GPS system, kind of helping to guide you on the right choices and the right moves to make. Okay, so in this case, maybe it took a little longer because of ignoring some of those, signs and signals that your own emotions were trying to offer you. But now let's get the Crystal Angel card for some advice moving forward in the month of November. And the card you guys have today is Moldavite. I love Moldavite. And it says here, unconventionality. Your unique qualities are an important part of your life purpose. It's okay to feel and be different from others. It's kind of hard to focus there. All right, you guys. Now, I hope this reading helps you. And now we're going to go ahead and move on to pile number 2. Hello to all of you who picked pile number 2. So let's get going with your tarot reading. All right, so the central theme here is conflict and defeat. Over here to the left, we have partnerships and alliances, along with mental conflict. And we have the suffering and silence card next to the third eye chakra. All right, you guys, so the conflict and defeat card is the central theme right here. So in some way, it's like mentally you're feeling like life is a challenge right now. You're feeling like it's hard to continue on in some path that you have to go down. Now, the conflict and defeat card, as you can see, is the same color as the mental conflict and the suffering and silence card. So in this psychic tarot deck, it's actually a mental card. So conflict and defeat is, in this sense, is definitely just a mental problem that you're having, which brings us over here. So there's been some type of conflict that you've had in your mind, because if you look at this card, as you can see, in his mind is just him. So really, you're creating your own experience, with your thoughts. Okay? And this conflict in your mind might have to do with a relationship in your life, or with, some other partnership and alliance. So it could be a coworker, a friend, a romantic partner, whatever the case may be. This conflict that you're creating in your mind is kind of like involving another person. All right, so it's not necessarily that you've been even having an outer conflict with them. This suffering and silence card, again, it's like it's not like you're sharing with the rest of the world what's been going on. You're simply sitting alone on your own mountaintop in your mind. And then the third eye chakra card is basically just telling you that it's time to really listen to what you're creating with your thoughts, because every thought that you have is actually creating something in your life experience as well, because thoughts are things. Okay, so it's important to pay attention what you're imagining and what you're seeing in your own life, in your mind. All right, so let's get some clarity on this down here. So we have the 6 of Pentacles, and then we have the King of Wands, and we have the 3 of Pentacles over here. I'm definitely seeing that this has to do with someone else, okay? And then we have the 10 of Wands reversed over here. Okay, you guys, so now here's what I'm kind of thinking here. So at first, maybe it felt like you or someone okay, so this could either be you or someone else. Sorry, I couldn't spit it out. So it could be either you or someone else with this energy, but it's almost as though some type of, what do I want to say? I guess some type of dynamic was formed where it was like there was always a giver and a receiver in this relationship, okay? And it always seemed to be the same person giving while the same person was receiving. It could have possibly meant that you feel like it turned into taking more than receiving, okay? And then let's move on to the King of Wands here. So then we have the King of Wands, which this king is definitely like new inspiration. This is not new though, because he's a king. This is not a page. So I feel like this is definitely something passionate that you've created in your mind, okay? This is very fiery and passionate. And over here with the Three of Pentacles reversed, it's just kind of showing that there might have been a project that you're working on with someone else. I don't know if project is even the right word. Maybe even just relationship in general. And this card is reversed because it's like, at this point, you're feeling like you would be better off alone rather than working alongside of this other person or people. And then we have the 10 of Wands reversed, because that actually is what's going to take a lot of burden off of your shoulders, okay? So it's time to really see, is this something that's healthy for me? Not only the relationship itself, but the conflict and defeat that you're experiencing, the mental conflict and the suffering in silence. Is all of this worth it? Okay? Now let's get your crystal angel card for advice moving forward in the month of November. And the card for today is Yellow Jasper. It says here, control issues. Utilize your God-given strength and power instead of fearing that others may try to control you. That seems fitting, definitely, for this reading. So remember, utilize your God-given strength and power instead of fearing that others may try to control you. You are the one in charge. You are the one with free will to make the choices for your own life. All right, you guys? Okay, well, I hope this reading helped you. And now we're going to move on to pile number 3. Hello to all of you who picked pile number 3. And so let's get going with your tarot reading. We have here the waiting game. That's your main theme here. And over here on the left, we have moving on, along with the rest and rejuvenate card. And over here, we have the throat chakra and heartache and loss. All right, you guys, I'm getting this feeling. I mean, obviously, the waiting game is your main theme here. So it's going to be important for you in the month of November to have a lot of patience. I know that you've been looking forward to something and you felt like it was so close, but now it just seems like you have to continue to wait. So just hang in there and keep waiting. Basically, this will be a month for you to kind of, get better at the skill of patience. All right, so the moving on card, along with the rest and rejuvenate card, is basically saying that recently you have had to move on from something mentally. This is something that maybe was bothering you, weighing heavy on your mind. And so finally, you kind of gave yourself that self-care that was necessary. You took some time to rest and rejuvenate. Maybe you meditated a little, and you were able to realize that it was time to move on from that way of thinking, okay, or that line of thought. And then on the right of the waiting game, we have the throat chakra card along with heartache and loss. The throat chakra card, when that shows up in a reading, it's really telling you that it's time to pay attention to how you are communicating with others, or to really pay attention to how other people are communicating to you. All right? And that, along with the heartache and loss card, obviously, that does indicate that there may be or has already been something in your life that you may have had to let go of. I mean, it kind of ties in over here with the moving on card. So whatever you had to move away from has probably been the cause of this heartache, okay? Now, if you look at that card, though, it looks like a shining heart, kind of in the middle of her being. And as you can see, her hands are pointing downward, and so are her eyes. So it's like she knows that this is actually a time of going inward. This is a time of looking at and taking stock of your own life. So anytime there is a loss, just remember that you must look within to find the healing and strength that you need to move on. And of course, with the waiting game as the main idea, it's just going to take time for you, It's going to take time to get past all that to move on. Down here we have the Ace of Swords. That one is reversed. And then we have the Six of Wands, which is also reversed. The Death card is also reversed, you guys. And then we have the Justice card over here. All right. So let's just move. We'll go straight over to the Death card. That was the first major arcana card to come out down there. So there's definitely some major changes going on in your life. And with this card being reversed, it's like maybe that's why this heartache and loss card is showing up as well. It's like you're resisting change that you can't resist anyway. So it's like you're fighting yourself for nothing. Okay? And so the Ace of Swords here came up reversed. And that's just kind of saying that there is an opportunity here for you to see, for you to think about something in a different way. But you are not taking heed of this opportunity, and you're not maybe even seeing it as an opportunity to change something. But again, it's because you could be, resisting change already. So your mind is just not in the place right now to kind of bring you there. But with more of this rest and rejuvenation and some patience and time passing, you'll see how it's all going to play out, Then we have this Six of Wands that is reversed. I feel like there's like some kind of missing glory here. I feel like the heartache and loss and the moving on thing might have something to do with this card for sure. I feel like the reason that this came up reversed is because maybe you had expected things to go one way, but then it didn't turn out that way, the way that you had expected. But then we have the Justice card, and that one is upright. And that card is here as a reminder that everything has its balance. Okay? Think about that. Everything has its balance. It's like the yin and the yang. All right? There's good and there's bad. Now, this Justice card could also be saying, if there is some kind of argument involved here, which is possible with the throat chakra card, I guess, showing up there, or some type of battle of wits or something, the Justice card being upright is just showing that in general, your intentions are good. You're standing on good, strong intentions. And so that's what matters, and that's what's going to hold up. Okay? So be patient. That's the main theme. All right, now your crystal angel card for November is Peridot. And it says here, life lessons. You can break free from recurring negative patterns by praying to know the lesson and blessing they contain. And that was one of the cards that actually fell out earlier. So that is a double message right there. You really need to break free from recurring negative patterns by praying to know the lesson and the blessing that they contain. All right? So if you're actually looking at any challenge in your life or even changes that you're resisting, you should begin to look at these as lessons and something that you can learn from to actually advance your own spiritual growth and development. All right, you guys, I hope that this reading helps you. And thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to click that like button if you like this video and share it out with your friends. And of course, if you're a viewer but not yet a subscriber, I would love for you to click subscribe today. And once you've subscribed, you can then click the bell to be notified each and every time that I upload a new video. Thank you so much for watching and spending your time with me. I love you. And I'll see you next time. Bye.